Hello, greetings, royal queens and kings. It's your host, Queen Tulsa, and welcome back to the Queen Tulsa Show. Shocking late night celebrity news. Diddy's trial, final battle revealed, you all. Listen here, get ready for an exhilarating episode with Queen Tulsa as she dives into the hottest topics of the week from her take on the sweeping narratives of the day today, breaking down the P. Diddy trial. Queen Tulsa, I say Queen Tulsa, Queen Tulsa doesn't hold back. Join her as she uncovers the juiciest viral stories of the moment, dissecting what really matters in Queen City and beyond. Whether you're a fan of trendy celebrity updates or curious about the buzz surrounding high profile trials, this video has got you covered. Hit that subscribe button and be a part of the hottest discussion in town and on the airwaves. Now, listen here. I did do my research. I took lots of notes because this P. Diddy trial, it has been really getting the people's panties up in a bunch. And people are really talking about it. People feel like, Diddy is innocent. Just the other day, there was some woman, I don't know whose live it was on, but some woman decided to one asking people did they want to be flashed. I thought that was very different and interesting. Okay. I'm like, what is going on in New York? But they said that people have gotten out of hand. They said that that it's supposed to get worse on the day on the day of the verdict. Well, Monday is when they return, right? And so when the commentators come out, the content creators and the news stations, when they come out and they do the little interviews and things like that, people are going to take that and run with that. I'm going to tell you for real. Well, get into this. Beyonce was safely lowered after her flying car unexpectedly titled midair at the Cowboy Carter tour in Houston. Shout out to the Neighborhood Talk for reporting this. So I want you guys to really get up into it so you can see her car right here. She's actually being lowered. I do have more footage in my inbox of when she had told them to stop. But of course, we can't play any of her music or anything like that. So this is going to be good enough. Yeah, she had come tumbling down in that white Cadillac. Is that a Cadillac? I believe that's a red Cadillac. Yeah, she had come tumbling down. Let's get into these comments. Someone says, tipping on fofos for real though. Okay. Protect Beyonce at all costs. Our national treasure. Her fans was gonna catch that hole into her car if it failed. Thank you, God, for protecting her and her fans. That car will be receiving a termination letter expeditiously. This woman is so amazing and professional. She sang until she couldn't anymore. Super scary, but she definitely gave a show to remember. All right. Rumi got someone yoked up in the back right now. Car, thank you for your services. You are no longer needed. I was there and it was actually pretty scary, but she remained profane, gave one of the most amazing performances I've seen. This was at the end of the show, literally like 40 minutes ago. Oh, okay. So that's what they was doing over there. All right. What's the next story, child? Clark Opelson, notorious criminal linked to the creation of Stockholm Syndrome, dies at 78 years old, child. He's out of here. All right now. All right, what's next? Joe Biden, Kamala Harris pay respects at funeral for slain Minnesota lawmaker. Oh my God, do y'all remember that? Oh wow! I wonder if they had the because remember it was the husband and the wife. I wonder if they had funerals together. Hey Norris Tony, how you doing, love? I wonder if they had the funerals together. There's no telling. Let's go ahead and get to the next story. All right, so Onwa Tasha K says, I don't give a F. So I support Pride Month, but I don't support men and women parading the streets naked as F. We can celebrate your freedom, but keep your effing clothes on in front of children in broad daylight while waving a rainbow flag dressed in glitter with colors that attract children off top. And miss me with that keep your kids in the house bull ish. When y'all are having festivities at children's parks where kids play, if this was heterosexuals, I would share the same energy. Looks like one giant orgy party in broad daylight. Are we celebrating sex or sexuality? Now get the F out. Oh, child. Okay, I thought she was going to have a photo. I agree. It's like it's a time and a place for everything. Like, let kids be kids. Kids should not be at these festivities. Like, I don't know. If me and my kids are at a festivity and there are people like half dressed and nearly unclothed, yeah, we are about to detour. We gotta go. Akbar V reflects on her motherhood journey and says she's scared about raising her new baby because she didn't raise her other children due to being in the streets. Well, what are you afraid of? You have the means, you have the resources. Um, I mean, don't count on, just don't count on it to be perfect, but just give your best. That's what I can say. Let's keep it moving. Let's see. Lisa Bonet has spoken out about her divorce from Jason Momoa Mama after 2 years, saying it was the most painful chapter of my life. It felt like a scene from a nightmare. I can't bear those things anymore. I dedicated 12 years of my life to him, only to catch him sleeping with his own elder. Oh, no, ma'am. Okay, Jake Paul spent 39 million to buy a 5,746-acre plantation in Georgia so he could hunt on it and build a racetrack. What y'all think about that? Make America Great Again shirt hat on. This is it. Child, I hope it's giving him Lake Lanier vibes. All right, y'all, let's get up into it. Oh shoot, hold on. Another day, another bizarre MTA moment. Socialize. What would you do if you saw this on the train? Honey, I'm not really sure that we should look at that because they're saying that it's bizarre. I'm not willing to take a look at that. Let's go ahead and the New York Knicks are reportedly in talks with Dawn Staley to become their new head coach. If hired, she will make history as the first woman to lead an NBA team. Oh my goodness, she deserves. She deserves. Really, y'all listen up a prayer for Miss Dawn. Listen up a prayer and pray that she gets that opportunity. That would be amazing. She's amazing, amazing, amazing. All right, let's get into this. Protesters denounced Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez day after wedding. Oh, oh, wow. All right, thank you for that. We're gonna move on. Okay, let's go ahead. What's our next one? Let's see. Okay, Vince expects to rake in over $1.1 billion from Bezos Sanchez wedding. What? All right now. They got the money over there. Party, party. You said Akbar shouldn't be having no more kids. You know what? You're right about that. You're right about that. Why would she start all the way over? She's going to be a little old lady chasing around that 4-year-old toddler, like around the house. And she already know her knees aren't good, you know. Yeah, I think that the time and I mean, you know what? Maybe this will slow her down a little bit. Maybe this will keep her off the internet. You know what I'm saying? because you know how she would come on the internet and she would do her rants and things like that. She would get very, very, very cocky. She would throw Candy's name out there all around. Oh, this is my cousin, this, that, and the third. But she was a straight up gutter snipe, straight up out the hood. Okay, let's get into it. What is it? What's it giving? Drake posted up with his 6-pack. Child, it's giving, honey. He just had him some new surge, honey. Honey, it's giving surge. That's what it's giving. So you got that 6-pack, but then you got all those drinks back there. You're gonna get that. You gonna lose that what is that 6-pack? You gonna lose that little 6-pack in a minute. Okay, get the drinking. I don't know. You better have a strict diet and let the sweets go. But congratulations on seeing the plastic surgery. All right, y'all. Jasmine Crockett pulls back from helping Democratic Party after some claim she's not a team player. I really gave a lot to the caucus, a lot of my time, a lot of my energy, as well as my treasure. It was frustrating to hear over and over that I wasn't a team player, said Crockett, who had highlighted her fundraising prowess, which included raising more than $4 million for the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee and her attendance of more than 100 events as a surrogate for the party in the 2024 election. One of the reasons that I laid out how much money I raised, how many trips I've taken, how much money I'd given is because in my mind, I was the biggest team player. And so for me, if that's not, going hard for the team, then honestly, I have some figuring out to do as relates to how is it that I can get a caucus that believes that I'm down for them. It also goes on to say Crockett says she would instead put her attention outside Capitol Hill and more on grassroots work around the country, particularly at Black churches. She named well-known ministers and civil rights activists like Revs Al Sharpton, Jamal Bryant, and William Barber, who have served as a rocket foundation for the mobilization and education in Black communities. I would rather go and do more of my labor in fields of love where they are begging me to be. And really, it's still enormous to the benefit of the party. All right, so Jasmine says she's going to get out there. She's going to get in the streets, boots on the ground. All right, so let's get into it. So Nick Cannon posted 3 hours ago, Snap made sure every member of AMP got multi-million-dollar brand deals. I know that's right. Snap sponsors Nike. Duke Dennis sponsors Jordan. Agent sponsor Jordan. Phantom sponsor Puma. Davis sponsor Tommy Hilfiger. Christian Dior sponsor New Balance. All right. That's what it means. You turn around and you pull your people up. See, Black people, to my Black people, they can't come together and do nothing. Well, this Black brother sure did. What's your problem? What is your problem? Hey, Hypnotic Touch, how you doing, my love? Good to see you. Yes. Wishing everyone a BBL, big beautiful life. Get into it. All right, let's go. Let's keep going. All right, what else is next? All right, so we have, who is this? Jeezy confirms romantic interest in Nia Long, hence they could be seen together soon. Baby, I just said this on Queen Sheba's channel earlier. That Nia Long and Jeezy. I would love to see that dynamic. I would love to. She interviewed him. Would Nia be the one for him? Will Nia Long actually get him to lock it down? They've actually both been married. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Let's take a listen.
You was trying to holler at Nia Long by any means necessary.
They wasn't lying. It was not lying.
Right. You said real niggas don't cheat.
Really?
Hell no. They don't cheat.
Hold on.
She said really?
But I went was real men. I never cheated. Not like that. No, I don't cheat.
What you mean not like that?
I'm saying like that's low hanging fruit. If I'm locked in, I'm locked in.
Mm-hmm.
We ain't got to be married. Like I'm just not a cheater. That's like I'm not gonna cheat my friends. You know what I'm saying? I'm not. That ain't in my blood.
That's real.
But when you say I was trying to holler, yeah, I was. You know, but I had to be respectful because I was still, you know, finalizing. You know what I'm saying? So it was hard. It was tough. Staying focused.
They gonna link you with everybody now, right?
All right now. So what y'all think? Let me go ahead and get to the comments, child. Norris says Nia Long is out of Jeezy's league. Oh, okay. So she's out of his league. He said Nia doesn't need to be with Jeezy. Listen here, you know, they say opposites attract. Maybe, you know, Nia could be like, you know, his Kool-Aid to his sugar, you know, his peanut butter and her jelly, you know? I mean, you just never know. I mean, if they did decide to do something, I'd be here for it. I'd be here for it. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's get into it. Exclusive. Andrew Tate won't be charged in connection to Brewster's abuse claims, honey. Oh. It says Andrew Tate won't be charged in regard to the police report Bree Stern filed against him alleging abusive behavior during their actual encounter in March. Child, it's given, honey, they paying him off. Honey, they paying him off. She got to keep that up, that aesthetic up. She got to keep those lips filled up. She got to keep her boobs pumped, honey. She got to keep that blonde going, okay? Yes, honey. I mean, you know what? I don't know, because I wasn't in the bedroom. You know, I was not in the bedroom with them. And if it did happen, you know, hopefully she got justice.
Prepare for what most likely is to come. We are scared. So first of all, if you're scared, I'm gonna say this. We all need to be very cognizant and move in a way in which we literally have our heads on swivel, because I personally believe that there are always people in this country that do not like us. And we know that we were caught off guard with 9/11. I don't know what is going to happen going forward, but I can tell you that it is to prepare for what. I don't know what is going to happen going forward, but I can tell you that it is very important for you to be very cognizant of your surroundings and to be very mindful of large gatherings. And I'm not saying don't participate in any of that, but definitely make sure that you feel comfortable with the security that is going to be provided in any large gathering situation. All right. Give me one more.
How can the Senate be involved to make them accountable for what they're doing?
I mean, listen, y'all was talking about accountability. The systems have broken down. The systems have broken down because people have legitimately decided that they would rather serve him than serve the people that put them into office. Like, I don't really have any, like, good answers for you, except for the fact that legitimately everything that he does is like against the law. Like, he just breaks the law. And I know that there are some people that think that I just say this stuff because I'm a Democrat. And I can tell you, I have my own issues with my own party. All right.
All right. So there you have it. Jasmine Crockett had a word, honey. She said that, you know, she's out here doing the best she can. Okay. Let's get into it. Let's see. Oh, hold on. Drake allegedly had dinner with famed BBL and ab sketching surgeon Dr. Jung just weeks ago in Houston. That's what I said. I said it looks like it was a beautiful job. Whoever his surgeon is, you know, it's all right. It's all right. You know what I'm saying? It's all right. Two Massachusetts workers resigned after racist words captured on high school graduation live stream. All right, let's get
Y'all
into.
keep talking about why I ain't said nothing else about the Diddy case. at some point you just gotta be real with yourself. You know what I'm saying? I done had some dark days myself. You know what I'm saying? I remember being a nigga up so bad. I told him go lay down. Yeah, go lay down. And think about all this bullshit you been doing because I ain't deserved it. Locked them in the room. Yeah, call the police if you want to. So I done had some dark days myself. You know what I'm saying? So at some point you just gotta be real with yourself. Like I'm finna go run my business and take myself out to eat. At some point you just gotta mind your business. And I know these other celebrities in the same shit. I don't just think nobody came out by me. You know what I'm saying? Because every relationship I done been in, I beat a nigga up quick. What? Knock him out. So again, I'm just thankful ain't nobody came out about me. You know what I'm saying?
All right, moving right along. Okay, so Rihanna's dad, Ronald Fenty, cause of death revealed nearly 1 month after he died at 70. That's her daddy. He's gone, honey. Yes, y'all can read that article over there. Did she just faint? Okay, so we're gonna
another Emmy goes.
Oh, okay. So Black ink tattoo artist Ink by Hero is being accused of SA by more than one of his customers. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Y'all, trigger warning. Let's get into this, and then we're gonna get into the Diddy case.
My name is Julia, and I'm gonna be doing a story time on how I was SA'd by my tattoo artist. Okay, so for the record, I went by myself. I had a tattoo appointment in New Orleans. 3 o'clock yesterday. That's what time my appointment was for. He was a little late or whatever, but he had came like 30 minutes later or whatever. Mind you, I went to his house. He said he had another shop, but it was further than his house. I just went to the closest one, which was his house. Okay, mind you, this is not my first time going by myself to get a tattoo. This is my first time going to him. We followed each other on Instagram for a while, but I thought he was like a cool person or whatever. Like he seemed like cool, he seemed really cool. Okay. So I had on this brown 2-piece set. Y'all know those Target 2-piece sets or whatever. So it was shorts and a shirt. Mind you, the tattoo that I got is on my leg, but the area is only right here. I have work done up here, but he wasn't working on that. So, however, he ended up telling me, like, pull up my shorts on the side. So I pulled my shorts up on the side, but, like, I guess I didn't pull it up enough. So he wanted to roll them up. So, like, he rolled it into my underwear. So now it's like I have on, like, a swimsuit. That's what my shorts are looking like on both sides, both legs. My name is Julia, and I'm going to be so rolled up. Okay, so he put paper towels in like the creases of my shorts or whatever. So I'm thinking maybe he didn't want the ink to get on me or whatever. I'm not sure because I do have a tattoo like on the back side. Okay, so I'm on the table, the tattoo table. And the first red flag was he pulled the table down, like pulled it down to where like I'm almost on the floor. And he pulled his seat down, but his legs wasn't under the table. His legs was like leveled with the table. So it's like your knees are going to be on my back if you do my tattoo, right? Okay. So as he's doing that or whatever, he's doing my tattoo, I'm kind of feeling uncomfortable. So I pull me back or like literally grab me and turn me. And it's like I'm sitting on his lap. Like I'm literally basically laying on his lap. And I'm like, I'm finna fall. He's like, no, you're fine. I'm like, okay. So like, I'm just ready for it to be over. So I'm literally texting everybody. I didn't got on the phone. I'm calling everybody. I'm like, I'm trying to play it off. Like, yeah, I gotta go. And he's still not stopping. It's not phasing him. None whatsoever. And he's still opening up my pants, my shorts, and sticking his right there. And so this happened the whole time. I was there from 3 o'clock all the way up until 9, 10 o'clock. And he would not stop. And so around like 9 o'clock, I'm like, okay, I'm ready to go. I got work in the morning, this, that, and the third. So he's like, oh, well, let me just draw out what I'm gonna finish later. So that was a whole another like 30 minutes. And I'm just like, you're not done yet? Like, I'm just trying to get out of here safe. Anything like that. Like, that's so weird. He never gave off that vibe or anything. But it's like, you don't know nowadays. And that's why you literally, if you're going somewhere, guys, go with somebody. Don't be like me. Do not be like me. Like, seriously.
So, moral of the story, if you're going out to get a tattoo, piercing, or anything like that, make sure you are taking somebody that is aware, that's going to be alert, and that's going to have your best interest, right? Because this young lady said that she was violated by the Black ink artist, and there are several other women that are coming out behind him. So let's protect ourselves.
Your mother's so...
Okay, Marlon Wayans reenacts the powdered breast milk scene from his film White Chicks.
old that her breast milk is powdered. You breastfeed like this.
All right now. All right. You better get into character. Y'all shout out to Marlon Wayans. I love him and that family. Yes. Amazing family. The Wayans. The Wayans. Yeah, Wayans. Marlon Wayans. All right. There are now over 95,000 people in Japan who are more than 100 years old. All right now, honey.
And I'm talking to my mommy when he's being
Oh,
mean to me.
okay. So this story right here, Janiyah tried to tell her grandmom that her dad was touching her. Rest in heaven. Oh my gosh, she passed. When hold on.
Okay. That ought to be interesting.
That's why mommy tell me I can don't my dad touch me. And then he's still touching me. And I'm talking to my mommy when he's being mean to me.
Oh my goodness. Let me read these comments. Who is this? Okay, it says Celebrity World says Janiyah gave every single sign she was trying to say something wasn't right with her father, but instead of being heard, she was pushed aside. Too many children are dismissed when they speak out because listening means facing uncomfortable truths and stepping up. This little girl was let down, and I've lived that heartbreak myself. How many young voices have we ignored just because the truth felt too hard to face? Oh my gosh, she's literally saying touching, but she can't pronounce it properly. She was so heartbroken at the end. Oh my god, so the baby passed?
I like it.
Oh my goodness. All right, y'all. Maybe y'all need to hear this. Baby, I hear you are being hard on yourself again. Listen, nobody's got it all together. We're all out here mixing faith and grace with guesswork. So fix your crown, sweetheart. Breathe deep and trust the God who's never missed. Be soft with yourself. The future is pretty bright. You're still becoming. All right. That was very motivational. All right. Scary fireball scene shooting across the sky confirmed as meteor that exploded with the force of 20 tons of TNT. See the video. What? Oh, that was in Georgia. Oh, wow. That was in Georgia. Looks like, okay. Uh,
Why are you staring at me?
okay, let me see. All right, I believe I had some stories. Give me one moment. Let me go ahead and pull up my situation. Welcome everybody that's coming in. Guys, make sure you please like, share, and subscribe. Tell somebody that we are live, giving our celeb news, giving you your fix. All right, so I did have a few stories that I did want to cover. Which story did I want to cover? What story did I want to cover? Let's see. Okay, that was my hot topics. I did all my hot topics. Oh, that was quick. No, okay, so this was it right here. This was my last story for you all, and then I'm gonna get into the Diddy story. We're gonna get into Diddy in 1 second. This was the story that I wanted to give to y'all. Okay, so North Carolina lawman called turning client's mansion into a full-blown club. Michael Brown charged guests at a wild house party he threw at someone else's home, then claimed he didn't lose the job. Blocked. Okay. So it says Michael Brown, a North Carolina landscaper, took his side hustle to another level, and not in a good way. Authorities say Brown decided to turn his client's mansion in Weddington into a party venue while the family was away on vacation. He reportedly told partygoers he owned the home, invited up to 400 people, and even charged them to get in. According to the Union County Sheriff's Office, neighbors started calling in when things got rowdy and cars packed the streets. Deputies showed up and quickly realized Brown wasn't who he claimed to be. After fumbling through a few lies, including saying it was his grandparents' house, Brown eventually admitted he was just the landscaper. Officials shut the party down on the spot and hit him with several charges, including breaking and entering, trespassing, and obtaining property by false pretenses. Police also noted that underage drinking was happening inside the home. Oh, they even joked in a Facebook post that Brown was informed he was a guest at the Union County Detention Center, not a resident. Oh, and advised not to throw parties in their holding cell. Brown bonded out on $10,000, but told local news that the story was being twisted. He said the event was a graduation celebration and that he didn't think he lost the client who was still out of town. But the homeowner's son told, okay, so, child, let's get into it.
That's how you shut the shit down. These talk about.
Y'all listen. Look, this is the party. It was a lot of gyrating going on over there. A lot of gyrating, child. Yes, honey. Okay, this is him. Let me see.
But I didn't break the law.
Traffic hazards, loud noises, roadways being blocked.
When they arrived on scene, Lieutenant James May says deputies confronted Brown.
And, he represented himself as the homeowner, said he was having a party, indicated it was a graduation party. It was in fact not the homeowner, not related to the homeowners, but it was in fact the yard guy.
Brown says this was a graduation party for his son and his son's friends.
Just wanted to always, do something where we could create an income and bring a positive environment for his friends.
It was mostly teenagers and young adults. We estimate anywhere from 300 to 400 people were at the house. A lot of underage drinking going on.
In addition to breaking and entering and property damage charges, investigators also charged Brown with obtaining property by false pretenses.
Of security reasons.
He was actually doing was charging an entry fee. So we actually recovered and seized just a little over $3,000.
The owner knew I was supposed to be there.
Brown strongly disputes the story UCSO is telling.
I never spoke to them about anything about who stayed there or who owned the place. It wasn't my right to tell them that because it's private property. I didn't.
Baby, let me come home. Let me find out. My neighbor's calling me and telling me that my line guy has some big old party blocking off the street and so on and so forth. Okay. Now listen here. Let's go ahead and get into the conversation that we are all here to hear about. Okay. Now, I've been doing my research on the P. Diddy case, and just recently on Friday, they had given closing arguments, correct? Okay, so it was 7 weeks of the trial, so we have to take into consideration that the jurors are going to have to decide now, right? So this is a criminal sexual conduct case. This is like he say, she say, and it's real sticky. It's real sticky. Cassie and the witnesses were cross-examined. Yeah, it was just really a lot, but to say the least, defense doesn't have to prove a thing. Okay, so defense does not have to prove a thing. They didn't bring any witnesses up because the party that filed the lawsuit has the burden, right? So Cassie had the burden, right? And example, if you go out and you get into a car accident and you want to sue someone, right? That is your burden, right? So you're going to go and do that on your own. And this is another thing. The defense, they did not have to call a witness. They did not have to call a witness. But let's get into this. State prosecution had given closing arguments. Okay. So what did the government do in their closing arguments? You want to know? Well, they went through to try and simplify, the legal terms, the legal conversations. They wanted to break that down and simplify that for the jurors, right? Because this is not just going to be an overnight situation. I feel like with 7 weeks, you're going to have to go through the details. You're going to have to go through these statements. You're going to have to go through that questionnaire, and you're going to have to answer honestly to the best of your ability. But then you have 12 jurors that are going to have to make this decision together. Okay? So pretty much what the prosecution did was, they took their 7 weeks of trial, and then they clumped it down into like a presentation. So they started from here, what they started for in like kind of week 1, week 2, week 3, and just kind of like gradually pulled everything together. That's why they were up there for the great amount of time that they were. Now, the jurors had to focus their attention to this case. If you all don't think that the prosecutors and people weren't looking to see what the jury were doing, what their responses were like, what, they body language and things like that. Correct? Correct. So the jury will get some instructions, right? Now, first, they got to find out if an enterprise existed. And I feel like that's going to be easy because let me tell you how. When you have an enterprise, you have employees, you have structure, it's a corporation, and you have someone at the top that makes that calls the shots. Who would that be? That would be Diddy. Then they would have to figure out if the enterprise was engaged in or has some effect on interstate commerce. Okay, that means crossing state lines. I think they can prove that. When you bring it in, S workers and things like that, and no matter if the money did not physically come from your hand, the money had come from your bank account, you were funding this FO. You were purchasing, time and experiences with these S workers. So then 3 would be the defendant Diddy. Was he associated with the enterprise? And that is going to be a yes, because was he associated with the enterprise? Well, he owns the enterprise. So I think that a lot of people are going off of he say, she say. They're going off of what Jaguar Wright said. They're going off what these bloggers saying. They're going off of what Gene Deal is saying. But they are not going off of the law. They're not going off of the jury instructions. I don't know what the jury instructions are. Now get into this. It's his enterprise. So 2 or more persons reach an agreement or came to an understanding to conduct or participate in the affairs of the enterprise directly or indirectly through a pattern of racketeering activity. Is there a pattern of racketeering activity? That's what's going to have to be answered. Is there a pattern of the racketeering activity? Now, when it comes to the jury's instructions, one thing, okay? They don't need to prove every single act beyond reasonable doubt. Okay? They don't need to prove every single act beyond reasonable doubt. They can pick and choose. For instance, I believe this, but I don't believe that. However, at the end of the day, they just need two. This is what people aren't telling you all. So I'm going to break it down as best as I can, okay? So let's get into this. It's easy for the government to prove their case because I want to say in the beginning, week 1, week 2, week 3, everybody was looking for this excitement. They were looking for, Jaguar Wright was up there at the courthouse. They thought that they were going to get those salacious I want to say, commentary that she was pushing out, her messages, right? But the closing argument, right? So I want to give you guys an example of what that means, right? So we have closing argument and we have opening statement. The opening statement is where the evidence in this case will show. So the attorneys will always, in a opening statement, they will say the evidence in this case will show ... Now, when it comes to the closing argument, it's the opposite. Okay? You can argue in closing, right? So I want people to understand that. In the opening statement, you're not going to argue. You're just going to say the evidence in this case will show. Now, when you're doing your closing argument, it's the opposite. You argue in the closing. Now, the defense didn't put on a case. Diddy didn't testify. Okay? Because let me tell you this. If Diddy had jumped on that stand and decided to testify, he would be fried, dyed, and laid to the side because prosecution was going to challenge him on that video. The prosecution was going to challenge him on those sores in Cassie's mouth. The prosecution was going to challenge him on the burning cessation, the UTIs, the antibiotics not working, and the so on and so forth. He was going to be challenged. Okay, so I do want to ask you guys in the chat if you guys have taken the poll already. Is there a poll up? And if you all can help us with our likes, help us get into the algorithm. What was I about to do? Okay, I'm doing this. Let me see. Let me go ahead and move this. Okay. So I'm going to bring up this video right here because I want you guys to really pay attention and kind of tell me what's going on here. I need to see something right quick. I just need you guys' participation for just a few minutes. Let's see. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I want to know if I could. Okay, here we go. All right, you guys, I'm about to pull this up and I want you guys to really take a look at this right quick. So we're over here we're on Facebook. And I want you guys to take a look at this. So on February the 6th, it says, thank you to my brother, Ye, Yeezy.com. At Yeezy.com, I'm selling the Sean John collaboration that me and my brother spoke about before they locked him up. We split into profits 50-50. Okay, so let me move over here. Where's my cursor? Okay. Okay, that's singing and stuff. I wanted to pull this. All right, let's see. Let's see what
Yo, it's King Kong. And right now I'm taking over my pop's Instagram. We're gonna be posting videos by spreading, good energy and taking y'all down memory lane and all the positive things he did. So stay tuned and watch this. Let's go. We love you, Pops. Happy birthday.
Okay, this is a video that I want you guys to really focus on. And when we talk about the feds and how this video was not really, it was not a good idea at all. It was not a good idea at all. In this video, you will see him make a confession. Okay, and a lot of people forget this. In this video, you're going to see him make a confession. All right, let's go ahead and take a listen and then we'll sound off.
So difficult to reflect on the darkest times in your life. Sometimes you got to do that. I was fucked up. I mean, I hit rock bottom, but I made no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable. I take full responsibility for my actions in that video. I'm disgusted. I was disgusted then when I did it. I'm disgusted now. I went and I sought out professional help. I had to go into therapy, go into rehab. I had to ask God for his mercy and grace. I'm so sorry. But I'm committed to be a better man each and every day.
So right here, he makes an apology, but he does not say anybody's name. Now, mind you, he was dealing with Jane Doe as well. He was dealing with Jane Doe as well. So I want you guys to take consideration of this, why the prosecutors are going so hard and why closing arguments and baby, it's stuff is really about to hit the fan. If y'all didn't believe that fat meat wasn't greasy, y'all are about to find out this week. Okay? Y'all are about to find out Monday what the temperature is given. Okay? So let's go ahead and let's play this shit.
I'm not asking for forgiveness. I'm truly sorry.
I think just this watch probably cost $100,000 with no diamonds.
Let's move. It's so difficult to reflect on the darkest times in your life. Sometimes you got to do that.
But you know what? Okay, so even in this, you know what? Prosecution would have tore him up with this, and let me tell you how. I believe they would have summons or subpoenaed that that video of him at that awards show and him calling out Cassie's name, and that being a dark time, and then this being a dark time. How many dark times did you have? How many dark times would you have? If I was a prosecution, that would be my question. You know? You said he wasn't sorry. You say he was only sorry he got caught. Now go ahead and take a bow. Let's go. Y'all want to watch it one more time, or do y'all want me to go ahead and actually I'm gonna go ahead with my commentary because I don't want y'all to be like, oh my god, I wish you would just okay. You Snore said he calls the darkest times in other people's lives. Come on now. Now, I'm glad that you said that because I want to have this discussion. I was on a channel and Black women, our women, they were so, and then it was this one guy, he was just really lost in the sauce because he didn't even know that, the elevator video, they were in the middle of a freak off and, Cassie was trying to leave. But I say that to say this. Whether she was white, black, orange, it does not matter. Nobody deserves to be beat up like that. And then Kim Porter was doing the freak offs as well. Kim Porter was definitely doing the freak offs as well. And some people were like, well, he was a good man this, he was a good man that. Well, listen here. It goes back to this man does not even charge up his phone. This man doesn't even cut his hair. This man has so much power and control. Oh, well, why didn't she leave? Well, didn't you hear in there that the man will pop up? He would send people out. KK. What's his name? D-Rock. And D-Rock was in it heavy. He was in it heavy. D-Rock would lure her back in. You got to come over here. You got to talk to Puff. Everybody, you got to talk to Diddy. You got to go get her. But then you got Capricorn Clark. He went and picked her up from her place and took her to do a lie detector test. When you talk about Kid Cudi, his car, we got to think outside the box. But let's get into this. Why would he make that public statement? And once again, when he made this statement, he admitted to doing something wrong. So, in case y'all were not grasping that, that's why you said Diddy Donkey needs to stay behind bars. All right, now get into it. Cassie was compelling, and others corroborated her story. So when you talk about, yes, she filed the lawsuit, yes, she got paid, but yes, she got paid not only from Diddy, but then she got paid from the hotel. They kept that tape. They kept that tape. He tried to destroy it like it never happened. Like it never happened. If that woman had come out and said, yeah, well, he did this at a hotel. Well, where the tape? Where the evidence? Okay, now we got the evidence and it's still a problem. It's still a problem. So let me just say this. Closing will consist of consent. This will be war. Pretty much. This is gonna just be war in the courtroom, right? Defense just has to punch back. And let me just say this. However, the government goes first. The defense goes second, and then the government has the last word. So I don't know if anybody knows that. Okay. So the defense, they go first. No, the government goes first, then the defense, and then the government has the last word. So they have the first and last word. If anybody was unaware of how the government moves around, They have resources. They have U.S. Marshals. They have the CIA. They have they have access to any intelligence that you would think of, right? They just have the big resources like that. But then let's get into this. Then the case goes to jury with the instructions, right? So now the jury is going to get the instructions, and it's really easy to prove. Anyone at the top of the chain, they're in trouble. So what I mean by that, you have KK up there, and I really hadn't heard anything from KK. I hadn't heard anything from KK, but listen, not verbally, but we did hear from KK. And let me tell y'all how we heard from KK, because KK turned over her text messages, any emails or any communication. So KK is cooperating. You said Sean Honey Combs needs to pay for his crimes. Absolutely. Get into it. You better tell it. So let's get into this. Cassie is the victim in this case, point blank in the period. I don't care how anybody want to dress it up, how they want to do this. Oh, well, she should have left. She should have did this. Y'all are forgetting that this man was trying to do revenge P on her. This man even had her mom and dad, I guess, refinance their house to get a loan. Now, the defense can't argue he's innocent. You want to know why? Because he's a bad boy. Bad boy, okay? I mean, it is what it is. The jury are the ones that have all the power. So I want you all to know this. The jurors have the power. The jurors have the power. They have Diddy's life in their hands as we speak. They have a big job to do. Like I said, 7 weeks in, and we don't even know if they're going to come back quickly with a verdict. And if they do, we should be scratching our heads, what's really going on, like, did they really take time to do their due diligence? Or like juror number 7 was contacted to see if they were juror number 6. Clock that team. So let me just say this. The defense is going to have to, they're going to have to punch up. They're going to have to throw their punches up, throw them up. They're going to have to, and when I say punch up, they're going to have to, call out which witnesses wasn't credible, and things of that nature, right? So let's get into this. How long will the case actually last? That's the big question that everybody wants to know. See, it lies with the jury, those instructions, them reading through. The judge, he has to get the documentation. Everything has to be signed off. Everything has to go to him. He has to read, I believe, at least 40 pages of what the prosecution and defense, what they submitted to him. So the judge, he's going to have to read all over that. So I would say a week, in my opinion. Maybe like a week, maybe if not Thursday, almost, in the business week, of course. The jury will ask questions. If they want access to the interview, any videos, sealed evidence. Remember, they made them put on like headphones and computer screens. So if they need to look over evidence, y'all have to take that into consideration as well as far as a verdict. So all these things are going to play a part in that. It's the interviews, the videos, the sealed documents. I don't think that they're really going to be pressed to see those FO videos, but I could be wrong. If a juror have a question, they're paying attention. They are paying attention because they're like, okay, well, this and this, they're really paying attention. So if these jurors have questions and they're paying attention, if they have questions about the jury instructions, honey, they are definitely paying attention because they want to follow all rules, regulations, and they can be found in contempt or something like that. They could be, charged with a crime. So they're definitely going to, follow all rules to the best of their abilities, in my opinion. Things to remember that was presented, okay? And as I said, these are the things that were presented earlier on in the case. The $20,000, the video revenge, the assistance playing a part, the S workers, And let me just say this: the government is very, very, very patient. They have a 96% win 96% win rate. Okay, they, like I said, they have so many resources at their fingertips. Let's go ahead and get into this. Once they decide, the judge will read the verdict. Okay, so once they decide, somebody's going to take that judge the paper. But I'm going to say like this is the time that Diddy is going to be nervous. I'm surprised if he doesn't ask for a restroom break. But I do feel like he's gonna have sweaty palms. This verdict is gonna, have public outrage. I feel like there are gonna be aggressive P. Diddy supporters. I feel like there will be a high police presence on the day of the verdict. I feel like the family's gonna be pissed. They're gonna be sad. And they actually have a reality show surrounding the trial underway. I don't know if y'all knew that. So there are more lawsuits. Even while Diddy is going through this trial, there was a lawsuit that was brought up against him and Justin just the other day. All right, so that is my shocking late night celebrity news and P. Diddy's trial. The final battle revealed. I really appreciate you for coming by and watching and tuning in. Please make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for commenting in the chat and engaging with us. Shout out to Norris Tony. Shout out to Hypnotic Touch. And all of you that were in the bushes. Have a great... Oh, we're going to play this one more time. And then we're going to head on out.
I was fucked up. I hit rock bottom. But I make no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable. I take full responsibility for my actions in that video. I'm disgusted. I was disgusted then when I did it. I'm disgusted now. I went and I sought out professional help. I had to go into therapy and go into rehab. Had to ask God for his mercy and grace. I'm so sorry. But I'm committed to be a better man each and every day. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I'm truly sorry.